Here is what the finished shape looks like. And as you saw from all those previous clips, you saw basically like how I made the shape. So really just try to follow all of that as best as you can. I didn't feel like talking in any of those clips, but you can hopefully clearly see like all that I was doing to make the shape. And also you saw how I made the chicken textured as well. And I think it worked out pretty good. I'd say it's quite realistic, but hopefully it's going to be just a bit more realistic when we paint it. And you can honestly make it as big or as small as you want, but I'm trying to make mine around like the same size as the actual Chick-fil-A burger, even though I've never had one. I assume it's just like a regular like sized burger. And I think the bun turned out really good. It's really nice and smooth. So now we are ready to start painting it. Next, what I did was I painted both of the burger buns. So how I did that was I just mixed some white and yellow paint together, and also just a very tiny bit of burnt sienna paint in with that, and then I just painted both of the buns just using a sponge brush and a regular paintbrush. So basically you just want to paint it like a very pale yellow colour at first, and do the same for the other one as well. And make sure to also paint around like the bottom part of the bun as well if any edges are showing. And I'm also using these two images here for help. And then how I created the shading on the bun, I just mixed some yellow and then some burnt sienna paint together to create a just like a tan colour, and then I just like dabbed it onto the bun just using a foam brush, and then just blended it slightly so it's not too harsh, and also did that for the other side as well. And again, you want to lightly just brush it around the edges, but you still want some of the lighter colour to be showing through, just to make it more realistic. Sorry if the lighting is making it hard to see the actual tone of it. But I think this is good enough. So now moving on to painting the chicken. Here is what it looks like once I've finished painting the chicken. And how I created this colour was I just mixed white, yellow, burnt sienna and also some orange paint together. Just to create like that breaded, like golden, like breaded chicken colour. And then I just painted all of it, as you can see. And again, I'm also looking at my images here as reference. And also another thing that I noticed on these images is there are also some little tiny like black flecks on the chicken. It's probably quite hard to see, but they are there. So I tried to recreate that as well, just using my black puffy paint, and then I just used a dotting tool just to dot them on all the way around, just randomly. And some of the flecks turned out a little bit too big, but I think this is still good enough. I think the colour of the chicken turned out really good. So now moving on to the next step. Next, what I did was I just used my dark green puffy paint to paint on some lines on the bottom part of the burger, just all the way around. And this is obviously to create the pickles or the gherkins. And again, I've just looked at these images here as reference, and as you can see at the bottom of the burger there are pickles. However, I don't know how many there are exactly in the burger, so I just painted on as many as I could for mine. And there are more around the other sides as well. So yeah, I guess it can be like optional how many pickles you want to add to yours. I probably could have made these a little bit more 3D looking. I probably could have made them out of separate pieces of foam, then glued them on and then painted them. But anyways, I think this is still good enough. So now you want to let this squishy completely dry, and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, so now moving on to making the packaging for the burger, and this part here is just completely optional. You can skip this whole part out if you want to. And also you do not have to do it the exact same way that I'm doing it. You can just take a piece of paper and then draw on the designs on the bag, and then like tape it all together like how I'm going to show you later, or you can do it like this. So anyway, what I did was I just opened up Word document. This is just like a regular Word document, and I minimized the screen slightly so that way then you can see more of what I'm doing. And then what you want to do is you want to go to Google and you want to type in Chick-fil-A logo and then find an image like this. It's really easy to find. And then you just want to flip it around like this. And also you might have to crop it just slightly, which is what I'm doing right now. So like that. And then you just want to make sure that the image is landscape and then the page itself is portrait. And then you just want to slightly just maximize the size of it like so. I'm actually just going to make it a little bit longer so that way then it covers more of the page. And you want to place it pretty close to the edge here. So just try and copy what I'm doing basically. And this is going to be the front of the bag. And then you want to make sure that you leave quite a big enough space here as well, because there's also like more on the back of the bag which we're going to add in next. But yeah, don't place it too close to the edge because we are going to be folding these edges, then taping them together. So I think that looks good enough. I might change it up slightly, but anyways, now moving on to the next step. So now moving on to making the back of the bag, and by the way, this is the image here that I'm using. And I don't know if Chick-fil-A is still using this exact same design still for their bags, but this is just the one that I've decided to use. And I realised that the front logo of this one is different than what I've done, but anyways, this is what I'm going with. So back to the Word document. So next what you want to do is you want to go to Insert, and then you want to click Shapes, and then you want to select the rectangle or the square, and you just want to just draw basically just a rectangle onto your screen like this. And then you just want to colour that red, and also make sure that the outline of it is red as well. And then you just want to flip that around like this. Make sure that it's straight. Whoops. So it's hard to do it with, while holding the camera. But anyways. So yeah, you just want to do that. And you just want to move it down like this. Make it a bit smaller. This is going to be the back. And just make sure that it lines up and everything. And again, there's still an edge of the white that is still showing. So like that. And then next what you want to do is you want to go to Shapes again, and again select the rectangle. Then you want to draw out another shape like this. But you want to leave an outline of the red. And then what you want to do for this one is you want to go up to where it says Shape Fill and Shape Outline. And then you want to click No Fill. So that way then the red is showing through. And then for the outline you want to click White. And then you just want to make the weight of that just a little bit thicker. So about 4.5. And this is what it should look like. So now moving on to the next step. So now to make the letters on the back of the bag. So again, just going back to the Word document. So next what you want to do is you want to go up to the top of the screen and click Insert. And then you want to click the text box and then just draw out a text box onto your screen. And then what you want to do is you want to go to this bit up here, so the style of the text. And you want to click the text that says Bell MT, and that's the style of text that you want to use. And this is the closest one I could find to that looks a lot like the words on the bag. So that's what I decided to use. And then what you want to do is you just want to write out the words or type out the words the spicy chicken sandwich like this. And then what you want to do is you want to click the text box again, and then you want to go up to Shape Fill and Shape Outline, and then you want to click No Fill and No Outline. So that way then the red is showing through, and also there shouldn't be an outline that's showing when you click off of it. So like that. And then what you want to do is you want to flip that around and just bring it a little bit more to the centre. And then what you want to do is you want to make it just slightly or just a little bit bigger than it already is. So that looks pretty good. And then you want to make the text white, so you want to highlight the whole thing. Then you want to go up here and click the A right here. And then you want to make the text white. That's what it should look like. And also another thing that I noticed as well is that on the word spicy there is a flame on the eye, but I don't really know like how to really do that, and also I don't like really want to like use an image for that, but I might change my mind, I'm not sure yet. So that's what it looks like so far. And now moving on to the next step. So next what you want to do is you want to go back to Google, but make sure that your Word document is still open, obviously. And then what you want to do is you just want to type in the words Chick-fil-A logo white outline, and then just try to find one that has a white outline on it. So here's one right here. So this is the one that I'm going to be using, so I'm just going to copy that. And then you just want to copy and paste that onto your Word document. And then you just want to remove the background, so you want to click on the image, then go up here and then click remove background. And then just mark all the areas that you want to keep and then the areas that you want to get rid of. So I'm just going to finish that. So once you've done that, here is what it should look like. So now you should just have the logo with the white outline. And I actually ended up using a different image because the other one was quite tricky. And then what you want to do is you want to flip that around like this. And then you want to place it at the very bottom of this bit. And just make it slightly smaller. A little bit smaller. So like that. And now you have both sides of the bag ready. And also another thing I nearly forgot to mention is for this side you want to make sure that the text here is in bold. So again you just want to highlight the whole thing. And then you want to go up here and you want to click this one, which is the B. And that's what's going to make it much bolder text. And just make it look more like the one on the actual bag. And I'm just going to fix this up a little more before printing it out. And again, you just want to print this out onto regular A4 paper. So I'm just going to fix this up and then you can print it out. Okay, so once I printed this out, it immediately dawned on me that this was going to be way too small and the burger just wasn't going to fit inside once I had folded and taped it all together. So what I did was I actually took a piece of A3 paper from one of my old sketchbooks and then I just glued that piece of paper just in the centre, just using a glue stick. And another thing I did was I also just covered this part here with just some clear tape just to protect it. But again, like that part's optional as well. So as you can see, this part is more glossy. This is the only part that I added tape to just to protect it. So yeah, I just ended up having to do it this way because my printer will not take A3 paper. But again, it's up to you how you want to make yours. So anyways, now I'm going to move on to the next step. Okay, so in the end, I decided to just throw away that bag because it just wasn't working. So I decided that I would just start over. So here is what my second attempt looks like, and thankfully this one worked out pretty well. So again, what I did was I just took another piece of A3 paper and I folded it in half. And then what I did was I folded the bottom edge, as you can see, and then just secured that with some clear tape. And I also secured this side with some tape as well, but I didn't fold it over, just because I wanted to make sure that this one was big enough to fit the burger. So I made the mouth of it pretty wide. You want to make it pretty big, again, depending on how big you've made your squishy. And then again, I printed out the two images and covered them with some clear tape and just glued them on, just using a glue stick again. And then I just cut off some of the paper at the top just because it was a little bit too long. I wanted it just to be like a little bit more like square shaped, I guess. So like not too rectangular. And this is what it looks like. I'm much more happier with how this one turned out because like the other one was just way too fiddly, so I just gave up with that one in the end. And also I realised that I am not the best at making paper bags. I still did like my own thing for this, and thankfully it worked out a lot better. But I actually recommend that you watch like some other videos on YouTube on how to make paper bags or paper gift bags, because I'm sure they will explain it in a much better way than I did, because I struggled a lot with this bit, as you can probably tell. But this one actually worked out a lot better, which I'm really relieved about. And it is big enough, so the burger does fit inside, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, it's still not completely perfect, but this is honestly the best that I can do. And obviously I was getting a little bit annoyed with this, but I'm glad that I managed to do it in the end. This is close enough for me. And I know that there's probably some extra text that's on the bottom of the bag, but I decided not to add that to mine, but you can add that on if you want to. Again, you can either type it on or write it on. And also, like I said before, you do not have to make the designs the exact same way that I did. You can either paint them on or draw them on or print them out like I did. So, yep, that's what it looks like. And now lastly, what you have to do is you have to place the burger squishy inside the bag. And then once you've done that, you are finished. So here is what it looks like once I place the burger squishy inside the bag. And again, it fits perfectly, which I'm really relieved about. And again, I know the bag isn't completely perfect. Again, I did struggle a lot with this, but still I think it's good enough. And it's pretty close to the actual bag, in my opinion. Again, it's really the best that I could do in the end. But again, I definitely recommend that you watch other tutorials on YouTube if you want to know how to make the bag properly. But in the end, I was able to make mine pretty well, but I definitely recommend that you do not learn off of me if you want to know how to make the bag. I recommend that you watch other videos if you want to know how. But still, really pleased with this, and I'm really glad that the squishy fits. And I'll try to take it out with one hand. So here is what it looks like. And the reason why I decided to add on the word spicy chicken sandwich is because it dawned on me that I actually made the spicy chicken sandwich instead of the regular one, because it turns out that these little black flecks here is well, the spice, basically. So yeah, I ended up making the spicy one, which I don't mind. However, I've never actually had a spicy chicken sandwich, I don't think. But it's up to you if you want to make the regular one or the spicy one. And also you can easily just leave out the word spicy on the packaging as well. And this is really soft and squishy. I'm so happy with how it turned out. And the bun is really smooth. It is still a tiny bit damp on here, but I'm just going to be careful while squishing it. And also think this looks close enough to the actual chicken sandwich. Again, I tried my best with it. And I really like how the chicken is textured. I think it makes it look a lot more realistic. And I think I was able to get the colour of it pretty well. However, I still could have made the pickles a little bit differently, like maybe a little bit more 3D than this, but still I'm so happy with how this turned out. So yeah, here is what they both look like together. I think they look really good together. And please let me know what you think in the comments below as well. Yeah, this definitely makes me hungry, even though I've never had a Chick-fil-A burger or never even been to a Chick-fil-A. But I have had just like regular chicken burgers before, and they're definitely one of my favourite things. So yep, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please stay tuned for part 3, which should hopefully be coming up maybe in like a week or so. Again, I can't really say for sure. And also, if you haven't watched part 1 yet on how to make this paper bag here, or well, it's actually made out of felt, but it's meant to be a paper bag, then if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I'll link that in the description box below. And also, I'm actually probably going to just link a playlist, so that way then you can just go back and watch part 1 if you want to. So yeah, I still don't know how many parts there are going to be in this series, but still I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, I will definitely be making more squishies to go inside this bag. However, I'm still not sure how many more I'm going to make yet, but we'll see. So yep, I really hope you enjoyed, and please stay tuned for part 3, which should hopefully be coming up soon. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.